Welcome to another episode of Ask Professor V. And in this video, I'll be answering questions that were sent in from Aarav from New Jersey. So there's 6 questions that he sent in, and let's just hop right to it. First one says, have you ever lost your cool in class for any reason or said certain things to a student that you've regretted later? You know, out of thinking back, there hasn't been a time where I've lost my cool in front of the class. I don't know if you know this, but my mom is also a community college math professor. So she gave me a lot of good advice, especially when I was newer at teaching. And one thing she said was always stay calm and don't ever stoop to your students' level if they're being disrespectful or giving you attitude or saying things that are out of line. Maintain your dignity. You're the one who's in control of the class. And I have to say, for the most part, I don't have behavioral issues with my students because I'm not teaching minors most of the time. My students are, 18 and older. And especially because I teach mostly calculus, they're more serious. So I don't have too many times where I've had to get upset with my class for any reason. On occasion, sometimes students will be disruptive, they'll be talking, but I have no problem putting them in their place. And I don't do it in a way where I'm yelling or out of line or in a way where I feel like I lose my cool. So no, and for the most part with my students, we have a really friendly rapport. As the semester goes on, they get more comfortable with me, and usually we joke around. They're still respectful, and I'm not like rude to them. I haven't said anything where I've hurt someone's feelings and I felt badly after, or I didn't give them some good advice. So thankfully, no. Second question, do you remember the best student you've ever had in terms of assessment scores and grades? I've had lots of excellent students who score almost perfect on every exam, if not perfect on every exam. So it's hard to think of one who stands out in particular just because of their grades. But one student who definitely stands out above everybody else is a student that I think took Calculus 1 with me summer 2021. And so it was right after COVID. We were barely coming back to in person teaching. I think my schedule was only 2 days a week on campus, 2 days a week online, because summer school is usually 4 days a week. And he had had a long break in taking math, a week foundation in pre-calc, and was really nervous about his success and ability to do well in Calc 1. So he had sent me an email before the semester even started, like, what can I do to better prepare myself? I know I'm coming in underprepared. My foundation's not good. So I gave him a list of topics to brush up on and recommended that he just go back to my YouTube channel and start reviewing there. So he came to class, and I've never had somebody work so hard or have a better attitude. And he attacked that course, learning the material and filling in the gaps with so much diligence, with such perseverance. And then I even saw this joy come out of him once everything started coming together. And he even told me, he goes, it's starting to be fun because I can see how everything's working together. And he did not shy away from hard work. He didn't blame anybody else or make it anybody else's problem that he had all this extra studying to do. I still remember one time he said, we're dealing with the rational function. He goes, what I want to do with this is like break it up. Is there something for that? And I said, oh, what you're describing is partial fraction decomposition. He wrote that down in his little notebook. And then the next day he came back. He said, oh, yeah, I watched your video. I know how to do it. That's exactly what I was wanting to do in that scenario. His thirst and dedication for learning is unmatched. I've never had a student come in like that. And I think afterwards he ended up transferring to the university. So I didn't get to teach him for more than that one semester. But the impact, seeing a student come in underprepared and then outperform everybody else. So that's the part I didn't mention yet. He scored I think he got a perfect on every single test. He did not make mistakes. He was super methodical, took his time, and just devoted himself completely to learning the material. And you could see he really loved it at the end. So it was beautiful to watch. Third question, has there ever been a time where you were seriously thinking about quitting your job as a math professor? If so, when and what made you change your mind? Aarav, yes. So I started teaching really young, right after I got my master's. I taught part-time at multiple community colleges for 2 years, and then I started teaching full-time when I was 26. So I've been teaching for a long time now, and about like 8 years ago or so, I was teaching at a school, and the majority of the classes that I had were lower level, developmental level math courses, mostly intermediate algebra. And then it would be rare that I would be able to teach a calculus class. And it was just getting really discouraging. It was hard for me to get excited about coming to class, not just because of the material that I was teaching, but because in a lot of those lower level math classes, the students aren't very serious. Not all of them are prepared to go to college. They don't know what it means to study. And that's not to say the whole thing was a bad experience, but it was just harder to find joy, to get excited to come to teach those classes. So I wasn't sure what to do. And I've mentioned in another video that if I wasn't a math professor, I definitely would have loved to have been an anesthesiologist. It doesn't scare me that medical school is so competitive and demanding, and takes such a long time afterwards to go through your residency and whatnot. But I started looking into, does it make sense for me maybe to just stop teaching right now, go back to medical school? So I did the math. No, the return on investment was not there. Um, Also, because when I was getting my degree in math, my science classes were mostly physics based. I would still need so many biology and chemistry courses before I could even qualify to apply to medical school. So it was just going to really set me back in terms of being able to recoup the lost income. And who's to say that I would have loved it anyway? So, what I ended up doing, I did do something to remedy the situation. I applied to transfer at a different community college, and the demographic there is a little different. And in case you don't know, I teach mostly calculus now. So the school that I teach at now is predominantly STEM based majors, and they need all of those upper level math classes. So the lowest math that I teach is usually pre calculus. I do teach some introductory statistics, but usually just online. So my in person classes are Calc 1, 2, 3, and then I'm going to do differential equations next year and whatnot. And that has made a world of difference for me. Not to say that there aren't still students with bad attitudes and bad study habits, they're everywhere. And community college or college in general is not for everybody. So that's something to consider as well. But for the most part, I have a lot more fun in the classroom. I'm really glad I made the switch when I did. And I can see myself doing this now until I retire for sure. But interesting question. Question number 4. How long do you usually take to grade an assessment? If I give an exam, I try to get it back within less than a week. I usually don't take more than a week unless I have multiple classes that take exams back to back. And then sometimes it'll take me like a week and a half, but never more than 2 weeks. Right now in summer school, I have only one in person class. So they took their exam on Thursday, and then I handed it back to them on Monday. I was done. I don't take a long time to grade. And then if they turn in homework or they have classwork, I usually grade that within the next day or two, tops. I feel like grading is my homework. It's work for me, and I like to get that done with. I don't like to have looming assignments. I was not a procrastinator as a student, and I'm not a procrastinator as a professor. So I don't feel like I can go enjoy my weekend, go to the beach, read a book, do what I like to do if I have grading left to do. So I do try to get it done as quickly as possible. Obviously, you do have to take breaks. You can't just keep grading and grading on end. You need to like give yourself a few moments and then get back into it. But I don't like to drag it out at all. It needs to get done eventually. So why not get it done now? And as far as the rest of the courses, like when I teach, all of their assignments are available ahead of time for them to upload, turn in. Everything's set up. Like I set everything up before the first day so they know exactly what to expect. I'm very organized. Question 5. How long did it take you to get used to talking in front of a group of students? I'm assuming it was probably different at first because you used to tutor one-on-one before you became a professor. So I, in the beginning, was very nervous when it was the beginning of a semester. If it was a new group of students, especially like I said, since I started teaching so young, often there wasn't too much of an age difference between me and my students. So that was intimidating. But as far as once it came to explaining the material, explaining the mathematics, I was pretty much immediately comfortable. I'm not a shy person, in case you didn't notice. And all of the years of tutoring that I did made it very comfortable for me to explain math to people. And then on top of that, ever since I was 6 years old, I took ballet classes, dance classes, and we would perform regularly. Like every year, we would do a dance recital and other performances on top of that. And I love that. I love performing. I love being on stage. I love having an audience. In school, if we had to give a speech or do a play, I loved all of that stuff. So I'm not shy. I don't mind coming on camera. I wasn't embarrassed or nervous just when I was new and young. And I felt like oh, my students are so close to my age. It made me intimidated. Are they going to take me seriously? Are they going to respect me? But now I'm very comfortable. And I think a lot of it depends too on just naturally. Some people thrive in front of an audience. I feed off their energy. Like I don't mind teaching into the evening because the students will be energetic for the most part. And then that makes me energetic. And usually when I come home, I have to kind of wind down because I'm so amped up after I teach. And then last question, what is your least favorite calculus topic if you had to choose one? One that you just don't really like or doesn't interest you and is annoying to teach. You know which ones? I know they're applicable. I know they matter, but center of mass and like all those hydrostatic force problems in Calc 2, I just think I'm not into it. I don't love teaching it, especially center of mass. I mean, the derivation of the formula is interesting, but then most of the integration problems, they're not that fun. They're more like excessively obnoxious and tedious as opposed to having anything interesting or spicy going on. Like arc length, I like arc length because you have that little cute factoring moment or surface area. Sometimes there's like a nice little U sub with factoring, but those center of mass, I mean, they're just kind of brutal and messy. And I don't know, it just bores me. I'm not the biggest fan of most physics applications, but I do teach Calc 3. And for some reason in that class, I love the physics applications, especially all the last chapter on vector calculus, which maybe is strange, but yeah, center of mass. If I could skip it, I would, but it's on the course outline of record, so I have to cover it. Anyways, thank you so much for sending in your questions. They were fun to answer. I don't know how you guys think them up. Some of them are so good. And then I did get a couple other emails with questions that I'm doing a little bit of research to answer because they asked me some things about resources that I recommend and other things. So I want to make sure I come fully prepared. But if you're interested in another episode of Ask Professor V and you have questions, then just send me an email, mathwithprofessorv@gmail.com. And then you can also just DM me on Instagram. Math with Professor V is my Instagram handle. Same thing on TikTok. Thank you guys so much for all of your support. And if you need help with your calculus classes, pre-calc, even introductory statistics, I do have video lectures for every single topic in those courses. So just head over to the playlist on my YouTube channel. Everything's organized in chronological order by the course. So I'll be back sooner than later. Thank you guys so much. I love you all. Bye.